How's it going, Wild Heart players? In this video guide, we're going to be talking about another of the kimono you encounter fairly early in the game, the poisonous Corvus Fumebeak. Let's start off by taking a look at Fumebeak's cyclopedia. His head, wings, and body are all going to be the ideal target zones. He has 4-star weakness in rock, but if you don't have access to rock weapons yet, he also has 3-star weakness in both nature and water, which you should have access to at this point. As far as weapon types go, they are all about even with a slight bonus to piercing damage. All ailments work pretty similar on Fumebeak, with the exception of poison for obvious reasons. Finally, Fumebeak's tail, chest, and tail feathers can all be broken for extra material. First up is Fumebeak's poison shot. When Fumebeak is in the air, he'll spit a glob of poison at the player. Next is dive bomb. Fumebeak will fly backwards shortly, put his beak down, then fly directly at the player, crashing into the ground behind them and leaving a pool of poison where he lays. Your best bet is to dodge to the side, as dodging through will increase the distance when the monster lands and decrease your chance to do damage. Fumebeak also has a poison wing swipe. This attack can only be initiated when the monster is on the ground. He swipes his wing at the player, launching large globs of poison in the player's direction. This is an attack where you can dodge through it and usually get in a hit or two from behind Fumebeak. Poison spin will be done when Fumebeak rises up in the air. He will puff out his chest and cock his head to one side before landing and continuously spinning in the direction of its target. If you are a good distance away from the monster, you can generally get out of its path or just run away and let him spin out. However, if you are close, it's unlikely you are going to get out of his damage area. You can dodge through the spin, but unless you clear out of that damage area, you won't be able to dodge the successive spins. The saving grace is you appear to only be able to be hit one time by the attack, so you don't have to worry about those successive spins if you got hit early on. Fumebeak can lunge on the ground. He will usually raise both of his wings in front of his face and shortly after will lunge at the target. If the player doesn't dodge the attack, Fumebeak will pin the player to the floor and will vomit poison into his face before pinning him with his beak and throwing him across the room. This can do sizable amounts of damage and may leave the player poisoned, so if you miss the dodge, be prepared to heal quickly. However, if you dodge the move, the monster will be on the floor, much like if the monster had just missed a dive bomb, giving you a chance to get in some damage. When in the air, it can do a poison bomb. It will rise up, puff out its chest, spread its wings, and pause briefly, after which it will fire a significant amount of poison at the player. It takes some time to learn the timing of the pause to dodge, but it's in your best interest as it does a ton of damage and builds up poison on the player. Another ground attack is Fumebeak's peck. It will peck the ground twice in front of it and then slam its beak into the ground a third time, leaving a giant puddle of poison. If you can get to the side of the monster when it begins the attack, you have a really good damage window, as the entire animation is stationary. Just be cautious not to be too close for the third slam or be locked into an animation, as the area of effect of the third strike is much larger than the previous two. While in the air, Fumebeak has access to a poison spread attack. He will fire 3 successive volleys of 5 globs of poison in a spread formation. Since it remains in the air for the entirety of the attack, the player really only needs to avoid this attack. If you can get below it though, you can get a few hits in. The last move of Fumebeak's normal mode is his front kick. It's a simple kick he does when in the air if the player is directly in front of him. Now let's talk about Fumebeak's ENRAGE. When he enters his ENRAGE, he will spin and fly up into the air while spreading poison outward from him in all directions. He has a few moves in this form that are different from his normal form. The first ENRAGE move we will discuss is its MIASMA, where it will lay down, fold both of its wings over its head in front of it, and then after a few moments will stand up and spread out both wings, emitting poison all around it. It's stationary in this phase, so if you can get out of the poison, it's a good time to use a Karakuri hammer or a 3-stack of Karakuri crates to get above him and do a drop attack. Last is its barrel roll. It's a bit like its dive bomb, except it spins in the air and remains airborne at the end of the move, and will do the move a few times in the row. Just don't expect to only have to dodge it once like you did the dive bomb move. That's it for Fumebeak. If you found this video helpful, a like would be super appreciated, and I will be doing a lot more Wild Hearts content in the future, so consider subscribing for more. Till next time, be awesome to each other. You made it to the end. Thanks for that. Maybe check out one of these.